Thank you for always remembering, all of you, remembering to think happy, positive thoughts, for expecting good, for expecting miracles, for expecting healing, hope, freedom, and trust. Because it's what creates such joy for me to come here every week or stand in front of you and share. What Robert did that I giggled about is he just brought up the thing that I usually have up here, right, which has the things that I've written the last couple of days to talk about today. And I often say, you know, I'm not going to talk about this because I've already written about it, but it's here in case I need it. So he just showed it up to me, and I went like that. No, don't need it. So I've been called a true believer since I was a little girl, and I think at that time I probably saw it as just, it seemed like everything always worked out. So if I would roll dice, you know, if I wanted to roll a 12 for the game of Risk, it would show up. If I wanted something good to happen, or I wanted to finish making my dress before I went off on an AFS trip to Germany when I was 11, even if I was sewing at the last moment, I always seemed to get there in time. So let's just say that I see that, yes, I could have been seen and still could be seen as a true believer, because I am. So when that topic came up, live in faith, I recognized that without really owning it, because I was just being it, I've always lived in faith. Always. As far as I can remember, because I don't remember everything, but I remember, I'll say, the good stuff, because I'm busy forgiving. I've always believed in goodness and love, and never doubted. Never doubted. There were moments when I was confused. I can remember when I was in 6th grade, one of the girls in the class who was unpopular and sometimes bullied took some money out of my coat pocket, and I didn't understand. You could say I doubted, right? And somehow, some part of me knew to go and talk to her. And it was scary and sad, because somehow love and goodness didn't show up. But when I took that step to go to her and actually say, did you take the $5? And I want to be your friend, and I don't want to have this hurt our relationship. And when I recognized that by taking that step into what seems like doubt or lack of faith, I found where the love was, which was her call for love. She needed someone to love her, and she was asking me to love her. When I was about 30, because I'm sharing about myself today, some call it witnessing. I don't often do this. Actually, I rarely do it. And I just heard today I was to share with you, which is always for me and you as well. When I was about 30, I did something called selective awareness, which was a form of, I'll say, hypnotherapy. And by the way, hypnotherapy, you're not really under, you're still present. But it was a way of getting in touch with your deeper self. And today I might call it inner listening. But it was actually guided by someone, and I didn't know about any of this stuff. I'm older than you think I am. And one of the questions that I asked that inner place is, why am I here? And what I heard is, well, why did I come? Why did I come? And what I heard was, the world needs love. And you volunteered to go and teach. And I would invite you to ask yourself, why did you come here? Why did you come here? What's in your heart? What's deeper than your surface stuff? Not because your mom and dad made love, or whatever else you think they did. Well, for a lot of people, it wasn't love. It just happened. So when I heard that I came to teach love, I realized that's what I've been doing. Again, I came to parents, this is a little aside, I came to parents who didn't really know very much about anything except the goodness and love that was in them. And they somehow lived from a place of seeing and believing that the child that was to be born to them was a gift that they called a gift of God's love, given to them as temporary guardians, to guide only when there was a need. And so I lived in a home where I was rarely, if ever, guided, because I was always listening within to my true parent. Does that make sense to you? They never turned over their authority to themselves. They gave it to me to listen to my own inner authority. So yes, I've traveled various paths, and I've tried to take on other people's belief systems, and tried on religions, and tried on, promiscuity, and tried on, being a tough heart parent. Okay, so I've tried on a lot of things in this life. But I stay very short times with them because they feel so unlike me. And I'm going to suggest that instead of naming yourself or identifying yourself with a certain person or way of being or religion or whatever, that you find a faith inside you that is true for you. That's true for you. See, I don't expect or want everybody to show up at some church on Sunday or Saturday or Friday or any day of the week. There are plenty of people walking around on this planet that their purpose, their faith, is to walk in nature, or to write poetry, or to sing songs, or to take care of children. That we all have our own unique place to be and our own unique path to follow, and it needs to be our faith, because that's where we have faith with ourselves, sometimes called confidence. To have faith with yourself. And when you have faith with yourself, there's something you could actually call it magic, but it's not magical. It just makes total sense to me, as practical as anything, and totally rational. When you have confidence in yourself, faith with yourself, your life works. I often say life is fun, safe, and easy, because it is. And when it's not, I have forgotten to have faith with myself. I've forgotten to listen within. I've forgotten to know what some call God. Not a God that's far removed from me and I'm way beneath it, but a God that lives in me, a goodness that lives in me as me. A love that created me and you as who we are, to be the love we are, to share the love we are, and to always receive the love within ourselves. And when you're receiving love from within yourself and goodness from yourself, you need not ask or demand it from anyone else. Because you're simply being it and sharing it and giving it all the time. All the time. So some of the stuff and things that we've, in this relationship, I need to say this, even though the person who is asking probably isn't here. This is a very interesting thing about this relationship. Robert and I recognize that we all project our own stuff onto everybody. Every psychic does it. Every person does it. You take a look at someone and you project, oh yeah, because he wears a mustache, or because he has a belly, or because she isn't smiling, or whatever. And you project thoughts and feelings you have about what you've learned. So I'm just going to share a little bit of truth and about Robert and I that you may or may not care about, but it's just a little interesting thing. This match is definitely made in heaven. It did not come from us. We didn't fall in love. We weren't attracted to each other. All that ordinary stuff was not what got us together. It was purely inner guidance. Purely. It was an arranged marriage. And by the way, I would suggest to you that arranged marriages might work far better than marriages by attraction. And in this arranged marriage, which Robert really was not thinking about marriage at all, and I definitely was not thinking about marriage, I was in the process of listening to guidance about when to let go of the husband who was a project for me, to teach him love and trust. And he did learn in that project. And he knew when it was time for him to go. But Spirit said, this is the one, Betty Lue. And I thought, being innocent, this is the one who's come to support me in doing the work, the calling that I have to serve the highest good. I did not know that it meant that we would live together and be married. Spiritual partners long time ago, before this life, I'm sure, many times perhaps. But that really doesn't matter. Because right now, right here in this place, it is as one. And yes, we have different roles, but we actually live without discussing, without arguing, without ever worrying about what the other guy is doing or we're not doing. Because we trust that each of us is playing the perfect part within this union. So no arguments, ever. 29 years. And when there's ever a feeling in either one of us that something is upsetting, we don't talk to each other, guys. We go and listen within. And then we heal or come to peace or find our own path and purpose within ourselves. But we're not busy trying to fix or change ourselves or the other. And you know what? When you generalize that, what happens? You do that with everyone your whole life long. And you need not judge or change or fix anyone, ever. You give them the freedom and your confidence, your trust in that freedom to find the path that they need to follow. And life is ever changed when you walk and live in faith. So what else? So we're not very stuck any place. We're probably more stuck here, and I don't consider it stuck, guided to be here than any place we've ever been in 30 years. And what does that mean? What that means is that when we're guided to move, when we listen within and we're guided to move, we actually pack up all the stuff in our home, listen for where we're to go, put it in a U-Haul truck and drive there. And we've done it over and over and over again. 24 centers in 5 states. The first, maybe 5 or 6 centers I did when I was on my own, and the last so many together. With no plan, no savings account, no, on occasion we've known sort of where we were going, but sometimes not. And literally begin to come into a new space and serve. And the details I won't go into, but lots of really fun, humorous, fun, exciting details. Now, I'm not asking you to live in faith this way because, quite honestly, I've asked, so why are we being sent? Why are we being called to go to all these places? And you know what I heard? Because you're willing. So I just want you to know that you're never, when you listen inside, you're never asked to do something that you're not willing to do. That you can listen within and be guided to do what's in your heart to do already, but have the faith in it that you know it will be done and will be done well. Listen and follow. Listen and follow. So how do we get to that point of being willing to listen and follow? I kind of gave you some of the clues at the beginning. You have to have faith in you. You have to love the one you are. You have to somehow forgive the little blips on the screen or the wanderings that you take, or the ups and the downs that you go through. And recognize that each and every one is a learning that is part of strengthening your path of faith. Every single one. No one left out. No mistake or error or false belief or whatever you want to call it that's not going to be used for good if you stop judging it. That so much of life is really about you, loving you. And from that, all good things come. You loving you. Confidence comes from that place. Stepping forward with courage comes from that place. Being provided for comes from that place. Being able to love and forgive everyone comes from that place. Your safety and your security, your sense of belonging, your ability to be with people and be alone, your achievements, your accomplishments, your contributions come from that place. And certainly you find there your attunement or your self-actualization, which some call God. This is inbuilt in each of us. We're born with it. And to the degree to which we heal our misunderstanding, our misperceptions, our missed opportunities, some called all that mistakes, heal it with your gentle forgiveness and willingness to see it differently. See love in it all. See faith in it all. See freedom in it all. See choice in it all. And experience it all with full appreciation, and you will know God. You will experience goodness, only goodness. You will travel the journey of life in a way that feels fluid, natural, flowing. Say fun and easy, Betty Lou. I live in faith. I have not really called it that, because faith is a concept or a construct that's kind of out there. But when I stop to look, that's my life. I want you to imagine that if you sucked all the gazoobies and the judgments out of your life, you would see that you have also lived in faith. That you're no different than I am. Perhaps not enjoying the journey as much as I, because you may have judged when you've tripped and fallen down. But just give yourself the opportunity to forgive your judgments. Kind of suck out the archived material that isn't really what you want to remember or keep. And begin to fill your mind with light and love and trust and confidence. And you will know faith lives in you as you. Blessed be.